DNVR Broncos live, coming to you from Studio A, where the A stands for DeMarco.
Oh, God, no.
Don't mock him.
That's just mean. That barely works.
It's I don't know, it's just so good.
That one does work, yeah. I give it to him.
I was thinking a foot. Like there's a mystery.
something afoot?
A foot.
Oh, wow.
That's
foot.
good.
Thought you were talking about something else.
My foot?
Rex Ryan's
Yeah.
a candidate now?
Oh, prime time?
What?
Eight toes.
I was talking about Rex Ryan's foot fetish.
Oh, does he have
Yeah,
one?
yeah.
Wow.
Dude loves feet.
And it's public.
Really?
Big feet guy.
Wow.
Wow.
How do you know that?
There was like a video that came out.
No way. Like
I do
one
remember.
That shouldn't have come out?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Wow.
So I only vaguely remember this, so I can't remember what the video is. Was he just like...
I bet there's
Is
feet
there a
involved.
video of him just like scrolling through feet pictures? Is he
No.
just like staring at somebody's foot on the ground?
No, there's like a car involved.
What?
It's
Somebody ran over a foot and he said, "Oh, what a waste."
This is something I shouldn't Google, right?
yeah, you should.
No,
There's
I know the way
it's-
you said it.
I think it's safe for work.
I'll go
Really?
put it under
I mean,
the
in-
DNVR
Don't
account, no
quote me
worries.
on
I
that.
was going to
feet
say,
ever
safe
safe for work?
this office might be a little different than, someone working in finance
There are very few things that aren't safe for this office.
that aren't safe for this office.
Yes.
That's unfortunately true.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Check out our friends over at DraftKings Sportsbook. Use the code DNVR when you sign up. All right. Zach, catch us up on the latest unsubstantiated rumors floating around about the Denver Broncos coaching search.
Where do we start with that? Let's start with the most substantiated, which by the end of this podcast, it may not be true anymore.
Ooh.
But D'Amico with an E,
Yes.
Ryan. D'Amico Ryans just finished his
DeMarco?
interview with the Houston Texans.
Oh.
No contract yet. No contract yet. So
Contract yet.
I don't expect him to leave Houston without a deal, but as of right now, it's kind of interesting to wrap up your second interview, announce it via the team's social media account, and then sign a contract right after. That's just bizarre.
Why would they send that tweet?
I don't
There's
know.
no reason to send the tweet saying we have concluded our interview. Like it's just I don't know. We've talked plenty about the Broncos and the way they've handled it and like keeping things behind closed doors, and it confuses everybody, and football fans kind of get crazy when they're confused. But that honestly is worse. Because unless they're saying like, hey, it didn't happen, guys. Sorry. We're just letting you know.
Yeah. It's weird.
It's really weird.
Because usually the second interview, which ends in a hiring, just like goes on forever.
Until it's announced
Yes.
that they're hired.
Yeah.
And the candidate's in the building or at their hotel room or at dinner the entire time with the team.
Yeah. It's very odd.
So that's something just to keep an eye on. Again, now John McClain, who's probably as close to the Houston Texans as anyone, all of last night was just tweeting how great this is. When they hire D'Amico Ryans, it's going to happen. And then today, he said the Texans have wrapped up their meeting with D'Amico Ryans, which now means they can hire him. So maybe the Texans just do things differently, but to me, it's just something where I opened one eye to this morning when I saw that and said, maybe he does leave Houston, where I did not think there was any possibility of that yesterday.
Speaking of opening one eye, there was, of course, the Pro Football Talk report.
Oh, literally, yes.
Which said, as far as Jim Harbaugh of the Broncos goes, sleep with one eye open, he was told.
And that means don't sleep on it?
Well, sleep with one eye open.
It means, like, be very aware.
Isn't that typically like, watch out, someone's going to stab you in the back,
Exactly.
sleep with one eye
Yes.
open?
Yes.
It's like what you
Yes.
say to someone who screws you over.
Right.
You're like, sleep with one eye open. Like, I'm
So
coming
yeah,
for
that's
you.
why I was just confused. So that means, like, just be prepared?
Yeah, I mean, people are really bad at phrases.
Okay, well, I'm probably the worst at phrases, but that's why I run
Allie's
things
got
by
you
you
beat, but
guys.
you guys,
Oh,
you're-
well, that's
you're
good.
close.
No,
Often,
Allie has an excuse. She comes from a different
That
culture,
is
which
true.
you try to like translate your phrases.
I don't have
Yeah,
that.
I don't
excuse,
give a pass.
Unfortunately,
One of my favorite expressions from her culture, it all translate to English, is like, you act like you're the last Coca-Cola in the desert.
Wow.
So you act like you're hot shit or
Yeah,
something.
exactly.
Kind of like how Sean Payton acts. He thinks he's the last Coca-Cola in the desert.
Yeah, it's literally ni que fuera la última coca en el desierto.
Yeah.
I'm happy you translated that because I don't even know if I would have heard Coca-Cola.
You would have got
in there.
Coca-Cola.
Maybe.
Or-
I wouldn't have been confident enough to say I heard it, though.
Jim Harbaugh also acts like the last Coca-Cola in the desert.
I mean, they all
all
have
the greats?
massive egos. Yeah.
Huh?
Do all the greats?
Yes. Again, they all think they're coming in here and
Most.
fixing Russell Wilson.
Do
You
they?
got to think you're the last Coca-Cola in the desert to do that.
I mean, you probably do.
You might
probably
think he's like the last case of Coca-Colas.
Oh.
You might
well,
think there's like 12 of them.
Actually, that makes you less in demand.
Yeah.
Unless you're all of them.
you wanna be
Then
like the
everybody
last-
wants to have.
I think
It's like, I want 12.
more important would be like the last drop of
Yeah, it would
Coca-Cola in
be.
the desert.
Really?
So
But that's not helping.
Who thinks they're the last drop between those two?
Wow. On Jim Harbaugh? Or, both of them.
Both of them.
I
me-
kind of
let-
think they
Their
are
their
too,
egos
honestly.
equal.
Let me throw one more person in there. What about Mickey Loomis? Does he think he's that?
No.
Or does he think Sean is that?
I think he is just like, I'm winning this no matter what, and I'm not budging, and someone will give up.
Big Dunk told us that Mickey Loomis likes to win a deal, doesn't he?
He does.
Yeah.
That's just one of the funniest things you can say about someone.
So that is another kind of thing that's creeped in here is it's a lot of people believe that Mickey Loomis is still demanding 2 first-round picks for Sean Payton, and that's why no deal has been done with any team. You see the Broncos, instead of going and trying to push Mickey Loomis's hand by interviewing a bunch of candidates this week, the Broncos are kind of just sitting back, and if that's the case, they're waiting on things to cool down with Mickey. But the Cardinals, you see, are taking a different approach. They have an interview lined up today. They have an interview lined up Wednesday. They have an interview lined up Thursday, potentially to force the Saints' hand of saying, no, we're not that interested. We're not going to trade 2 first-round picks. And then Ian Rappaport today said, yeah, I think that's what the Saints are asking for, but he thinks it's going to be a first and a mid-round pick.
Do you think Mickey Loomis like negotiates with his wife? Just has to win a deal
Wow.
every single time. Have you ever heard of like I buy you fly?
Yeah, yeah.
He's like, I buy you fly and you
Wow.
cook tomorrow.
Wow. I bet Jim Harbaugh definitely does that. Based on what we've heard about him. He's definitely, I don't know. I couldn't be married to him.
It's good. It's a good barometer, honestly.
But
Yeah.
if he makes $16 million a year, then could you lose every argument?
Whoa.
I thought
Yeah.
16 mil was a little light.
You do?
For Jim?
I don't, it doubles his salary. I feel like that's probably the number. You double his salary. I don't think it's enough for Sean Payton, but that's because he's coming from TV money.
See, I think if someone out there, and again, you're Jim Harbaugh, you think you're the last Coca-Cola drop
True.
in the desert. If you hear someone else might get $20 million for this position or 25, I kind of agree with Ryan. I don't think you're settling for 16. As great as it would be to settle for $16 million.
Maybe that's kind of how it starts. Or it's like, okay,
Right.
you got like the 20 million here. You double the Broncos saying like double the salary at 16 million. Let's split the difference. 18. Maybe it's 20. Maybe it works off 25. Who
See,
knows?
and that's exactly how it goes. Jim's like, I got a job right now. And then, okay, 18.
Maybe the Broncos, in this specific scenario, the Broncos ownership's money is actually working against them. Because the coach knows there's
True.
no salary cap involved here, and no amount of money you could pay me really matters to you.
Yep.
True. I feel like all you can ever ask for though is to reset the market. Like whether that's like as a football player, as a coach, is whatever. Like if somebody says we will make you the highest paid coach in the NFL, like you can't say no, that's not enough. And maybe they do have the balls to try it. Earmuffs?
No.
No, balls is fine. Okay,
Yeah,
balls.
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It
Everybody
can
knows
refer to
balls.
many different things.
Well, okay, but so yeah, maybe they have the balls to say like, no, that's not enough. But I do think like if the highest paid coach is Bill Belichick, nobody knows what it is. It's 20 or it's 24 or whatever. Like if you say 21, it's the most in the league. You can't really ask for more than that.
Well, and that's why 16, we really believe that that's not the bar. And I
True.
think that's what Ryan's kind of saying.
Yeah, I think we're getting to 20 if that's happening.
For either of these guys,
Wow.
Probably.
you think Sean's coming down a little bit, his price tag? From 25 to maybe that 20?
Unless all of this has just been song and dance to try and get the compensation down. I honestly think the Broncos, when it comes to Sean Payton, don't care nearly as much about what they have to pay him compared to what they have to pay the Saints.
100%. And I think there may be a song and dance going on there. And that's why today Right now, I'm going to update my prediction.
Whoa.
I think Sean Payton's going to be the next head coach of the Broncos, with number 2 being Jim Harbaugh right there.
How many times have we changed?
A lot.
Which, like, I don't blame us.
Yeah.
You know, the whole thing has been a roller coaster. Hank loves it.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, I'm having the time of my life. I love roller
Fits
coasters.
into your DNA. But you literally, okay, speaking of roller coasters, yesterday, didn't you say you were done with this coaching search?
Oh, yeah.
How can you love it if you're done with it? If it's a
You
good
can only be on a
coaster,
roller
you
coaster
wanna-
for so long.
This
Oh,
is,
okay, that's
this
fair,
is
that's
not
fair.
nearly as fun as like
Got a
Disney
headache.
World.
He's puking.
Rockin' roller coaster. You know, Incredible Hulk.
So where do you guys
Got
stand
whiplash.
Yeah.
right now?
See Splash Mountain closed?
No way.
Yeah.
Did.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
A legend.
Seriously.
Okay, what was your question?
Are you guys still Harbaugh? All 3 of us yesterday thought it was going to be Harbaugh, and then said Sean Payton's number 2. Where are you now?
Yeah, I'll flip it. I'll take Peyton.
I'm sticking with Harbaugh.
There we go. There
Ooh,
we
that's
go.
fun.
I like that you're sticking with it.
I still think the Broncos want Harbaugh, and people with that much money don't like to take no for an answer. And so they will just keep prying and poking and prying and poking until finally he's like, all right, Jesus, I'll take the job.
And that's
Wow.
why I think it's like 51, 49%. I think it's that close, and totally understand what you're saying. And on top of that, there was a report, I believe it was from Mike Kliss last week, that said middle of the week, or maybe it was Ian Rappaport or Adam Schefter, said middle of the week last week, after talking with them on Monday, after having follow-up conversations with them, that Harbaugh told the Broncos, I'm done. I'm not coming there. But now you hear all of these national people who are connected say,
You're here.
I think it's done. I think it's done. But it's no one's officially saying that the door is closed. What were you pointing to?
Oh, you said Yahir. And so it's Yahir over there.
I said
He
you
said,
hear?
now you hear that.
Oh my gosh.
That was my nickname.
I just-
Right over my
sports.
head.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hear me? That's coming. Yeah, hear me?
I feel like you would say that after you score a goal to the goalie in their face. Like,
Oh.
you hear me now?
Yahir. I was like, yes, I am Yahir.
That and my other nickname was Taco Burrito.
Wow,
Where'd
two
that one
very
come from?
different. The second one seems like slightly problematic.
It wasn't.
All right.
I promise you it wasn't.
Okay. Well, that's good news.
And
Really depends on who's calling you that for it to
that's
matter.
very true.
does-
That's
it
very
does.
true.
We
just
will
curious,
not be calling you that.
Why couldn't they settle on one?
It's both.
Yeah.
Which must
You
be
can't
better.
tell us, okay?
Oftentimes when I go to a restaurant, I can't settle on one either.
You get both. They're the combo platter.
Exactly.
Yes.
Okay.
I do wonder if like this has just been the Broncos negotiating with Mickey Loomis about what Sean Payton's worth. That's why I flipped to Sean Payton today, just because it's a day where I feel like that's more likely than winning over Jim Harbaugh. It's close though.
Yeah, it is close. And one more thing that the Broncos may be doing to win over Mickey Loomis in this negotiation and kind of force his hand is Mike Kliss over the weekend said mystery candidates may be in play. Mike said that there could be mystery candidates for the Broncos. He says, I don't know their names, but I do know they've talked to a couple other unknown candidates that aren't on their top 8 list. He said that on Friday. Then on Sunday, Kliss tweets, lots of talk about potential for Broncos to expand their head coach search. My read, that's not the case. So he's kind of backtracking on the mystery candidate thing. Says, Broncos appear focused on current candidate list. There is a plan. A lot of crazy stuff out there. Let's spend the next 3 hours. Okay, and we don't have to read that part. But,
That
yeah.
part was so dumb.
So how I kind of read that is Friday, he puts out, there's mystery can, not just that there's mystery cans, but that they've talked to other people outside of their search, and then kind of walked that back on Sunday, but it opened the door to there being these mystery candidates. Now, is that because they want to hire a mystery candidate, or is it because they're trying to say, Mickey or Harbaugh, hey, if you guys aren't gonna, if you're gonna make us wait, we're gonna go talk to other people.
Isn't this like every episode of Scooby-Doo? There's like a mystery, and then at the end they like pull the disguise off the like monster
Yeah.
or whatever, and it's exactly like their original
Yeah.
person
Yep,
or
yep,
whatever.
I think you're right.
So that's what this is. The mystery candidate is actually the candidate all along. Let's get to mystery candidates, but first, a big announcement.
Oh,
A super exciting
Oh, a
announcement.
super one.
Because you may be, like me, very upset about one group of people that is going to the Super Bowl.
You may be like us.
Yes.
Like me.
I honestly don't like any of them.
You may also be very excited about another group that's going to the Super Bowl.
What are you talking about?
It's us.
It's us.
Ah.
We are going to be on Super Bowl Radio Row.
Go.
February 6th to the 10th, next week. And if you don't know what this means, it means a lot.
It does.
A lot of dope guests is what it really means. Super Bowl Radio Row is probably the greatest gold mine of guests that exists in sports. And I've wanted to do this, honestly, since I went to cover the Broncos last Super Bowl in 2015, and I got a little taste of Radio Row then.
What it tastes like?
It tasted amazing.
Wow, good.
Tacos and burritos.
Oh, the whole enchilada? Wow.
And enchiladas too?
It was it's really, really cool. It's a really cool experience. And so I went back again, I think in 2016. And ever since then, especially since we've been doing this show, I'm just like, we got to get there. So we've got the whole all-city crew going down there. DNVR, Broncos, PHNX Cardinals, CHGO Bears. We're all going to be down there with sweet guests. We're going to be creating insane amounts of content for you guys. And we will also be terrorizing the Chiefs hotel every night around like 3 a.m.
Wow, there we
Wow.
go. Wasn't it the...
This is how you guys are going to earn your street cred back.
Oh, that's how we get it
Wow.
back?
Yeah.
Was it the Giants before they played the Eagles in the playoffs where they didn't have water in their hotel the
Yep.
night before?
Yep.
Yeah.
Ah.
Let's turn off the water, hit the breaker.
Wow.
They can't charge their phones. They can't talk to their families.
Ooh.
Wait,
Wouldn't that be a good thing?
No.
Shouldn't you lock in?
They would get anxiety.
Oh, it's an anxious team.
Yes.
Okay.
Only if they don't talk to their families.
Wow. Do you think Jim
That's
Harbaugh
important.
would let the Broncos eat chicken?
Does he not let
Excuse
Michigan
me?
eat chicken?
No.
Not chicken?
Yeah, no. Because remember he told his quarterback that chicken is a scared bird,
Oh, that
and
was
so he's not allowed to.
Harbaugh?
That was Harbaugh. Yeah. No, again, like the man's insane.
So cows are acceptable? Like they're not scared?
I don't think they have many feelings at all.
So is he basing that just
chickens?
off of being called it like
They're
chicken?
jumpy.
If you run at a cow, does it run away?
No, they
So
don't
then
run
They definitely
anyway.
aren't scared because chicken would run away.
Oh yeah. No, they get scared easily. They're jumpy.
So is that why someone, if you're like scared, you're called the chicken? Yeah. I didn't know that.
All right, let's tie a bow on this.
Yeah.
We're going to
Yeah,
be at the
sorry.
Super Bowl. We can't wait to be down there. We're going to be going long every day probably on the show
Yep.
just to try and pack in as many guests as we can.
Yes.
So really excited for that, and can't wait for you guys to see what kind of content we bring for you.
Has this been in the works for 11 months? 10 months?
A long time. Yeah.
I mean, it was like last March or something. You were getting some
Yep.
inroads to that.
Yep.
Yes.
Even went down, met with the
Yep.
Super Bowl competition committee or the Super Bowl planning committee or some.
Let's
Host-
hope it's
host
competition.
committee.
Yes,
That'd
host
be
committee.
fun if it was a
Yeah,
competition
I was
committee.
like, all right, I got some rule changes for you. Host committee.
Oh man, I can't wait.
But it's gonna be really, really cool. We can't wait. So see you guys then.
And if you are down there for Super Bowl week and you're like, I need to go to the Super Bowl, check out our friends over at Game Time.
Oh, nice.
Maybe the game starts at 4:30 Denver time.
So
Maybe
this
at, like-
might be me.
This might be you.
Because obviously,
Ooh.
Allie's Eagles are in the game. We really
Oh,
want to
wow.
go.
Oh,
Seeing the current prices, it just like blows my mind that there's enough people
Yeah.
in the United States, at least, maybe a little bit outside, that want to go and can also afford to go.
isn't it just all like tax write-offs?
Oh,
Is
really?
I don't know. Isn't that what they say about the Super Bowl? Is it's just like companies
Corporate.
essentially?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, and so maybe that's why.
Maybe that's why we're gonna have to wait until the last second on game time.
I mean, I'm thinking 4:20 p.m. right before the game is when you go on
Nice.
Game Time. Oh yeah, that would be nice. You go on Game Time, find your seat because at that point, unfortunately, you're probably missing the national anthem. Probably important to a lot of people because it's probably a big time
Chris
name.
Stapleton.
But Chris Stapleton.
Oh,
Well, it says Chris Stapleton plus Babyface pregame. I don't know what Babyface is. I know Chris is the guy in the hat.
I've never
but
heard of either
that
of them.
must be
Lots of
the
guys in
national
hats.
anthem. Like Chris.
It probably is the
Big
national
beard as
anthem.
well.
But you would be okay with missing that because you want to go to the game.
I kind of if
Exactly.
I'm gonna pay that much money, I'm seeing Chris Stapleton.
That's the thing.
What
though,
if
is
it
like,
knocks off 25% of the ticket because you wait until 4:20 and
I've
miss the
seen
anthem?
Chris
There
Stapleton.
you go. See, that was a quick change.
that's why I'm upset. Like, I wish they would just put the Rihanna concert outside, and then tickets could go down by however much they go down by.
So you could see Rihanna, or you could see the football game.
How
I
about
don't care
this?
about. I don't care about.
You know how
Rihanna.
they can move the field in and out?
Oh,
They slide the field out
Wow.
for halftime.
wow.
That would be incredible. So,
wonder-
Hank, what are tickets looking like on game time?
With fees, $6,200
$6,200
for the cheapest.
There you go. So just keep your eye on them.
How many seats are there in that stadium?
It's a
Does
lot.
not say on game time.
I know, but like, let's just say 70,000.
Yeah.
There's 70,000 people that can afford $6,000 or more to
Well,
go to
the
a
thing
football
is,
game.
is like
And want to. Of course.
Google
Yeah.
probably has like 100. You know, Microsoft has 100.
that's
like
what he was
the
saying.
banks
Right.
have whatever. And so then by the time you get to actual people, there aren't that many.
If I was ever NFL commissioner, which I never would be, it seems like a shitty job.
$40
That's
million
why.
dollars a year, Ryan.
I would make a rule that there's a cap on how much the Super Bowl tickets can cost.
I like that. I like. Or maybe they can sell the suites for as much as you want, but then you have to hold the number of tickets for actual fans.
Or how about like when CU played at the Big House, like CU fans got an allotment of tickets
Yep.
that they were able to sell to their season ticket holders. Like the Eagles should get an allotment of tickets that they can give to legit fans at a reasonable price.
I totally agree.
Mm-hmm.
I'm right there with you. So
just like the World Cup. The World Cup does
the World
that.
Cup
Yeah.
is like affordable to go to.
I mean, college does it right because isn't that how it works at every college stadium? There's one set, and I think I like that. It's also cool that just have those fans in one section, whether you're the away fan or the home fan. So check out Game Time, whether you want to go to the Super Bowl or whether you want to go see the Nuggets play.
John Mayer was just up there.
Oh wow, is he performing at the Super Bowl?
But he's going to play in Denver.
Oh,
on his
so you
most
can
recent
go
tour.
also see John Mayer on Game Time. So check him out at Game Time. Click the link in our description, whether you're watching on YouTube, it's down there, or if you're watching or if you listen on podcast, it's also in our description.
All right.
Let's see. Well, damn it. I can't find it. I thought
Sounded
I
like
had
Tony
it.
Romo
The page
there for a
had it.
second.
I know. I'm not.
Jim, oh gosh.
What do you think is happening?
This is
up
gonna be
there?
a big one
That's,
here.
No, that's not what they say. That is not what they say. But I can't find the exact number, but something like each team gets like 35% of the tickets. It's like an even split, like 35-35, and then
they
whatever
do
to the
it.
league.
So
and
is
so then
there-
so then the season ticket members, there's like a raffle.
Okay, all right.
So
this
I
is
remember,
good. This is good news.
But then it's like based on how long you've had your tickets. And so I remember we were like high up because my grandpa's had them since the 80s, but we still didn't win the raffle.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, they're tough to get because obviously it's like a third of the fans. It might even be less.
I took a whole day off of school trying to get World Series tickets when the
Yeah.
Rockies went 0-7.
Yeah.
It was the most frustrating day of my entire life.
Wasn't the
Yep.
system down too or something?
System kept breaking.
Yeah.
I probably hit refresh. Let's see. I was probably hitting it once per second for probably 12 hours straight.
Oh my gosh, you got you learned a lesson that day of persistence.
No, I didn't because
You
it didn't pay off.
Oh, it didn't pay off. Dang.
I learned
Wow.
just give up early and save yourself the time.
And skipping school can be good.
Yeah, skipping school.
I just remembered, I think that Super Bowl was the one where the Broncos flew out like their entire staff.
Yep.
And so everybody was like, oh, that's really cool. And all the season ticket people are like, well, that kind of like eats into some of the tickets
that
that
makes
you could have
sense.
given to us.
That
Right.
makes sense.
And it's like they have their booster or their sponsors or whoever.
Hank, what do you need if they were to slide the field out to not be in the stadium? It's sunny. You're trying to watch a Rihanna concert. What do you need?
To not watch it,
No, to be able to
He
watch
has no
it.
idea where you're going.
to
with
be
this.
able to watch it, you need
It's really sunny out.
Really, there's so many
sunscreen.
rays.
Shady
coming.
rays, shady rays, shady rays.
there you
It's like
go.
sunscreen for your eyeballs.
I had not had sunglasses. Okay, well, let's just get into the whole
Oh,
story.
you're not a sunglasses guy.
So I have bad eyes. Like I
Really?
can't really see well. So like I can only. That's why I can't pull the comments up on my computer so I can kind of see on here. On here, not here. Every time. But so there's a whole big thing. So remember when Nebraska played at CU?
Yes.
And so like afterward, everybody storms the field.
you broke your
Yeah,
glasses.
and so I had my glasses like right here on my chest, and they broke, and then I lost like half of them there too. And so I haven't had glasses since then. But whenever I buy
Bro,
sunglasses,
that was in 2019.
yeah, I haven't been able to see since then.
Why didn't you get new glasses?
It just sounds so hard. It sounds so hard. But then I always got prescription sunglasses too, because I was like, well, if I'm gonna wear glasses, like I don't mess with contacts. Eye doctor tried like for 15 minutes, put them in, couldn't get in to go. And so I always got the prescription sunglasses. But then I haven't had those in a long time either. And I was like, well, I can't just get new sunglasses. Having these shady rays, just a revelation. It just turns everything darker. Like you never have to worry.
That's how
It's especially well, yeah. But like especially, I didn't realize in the winter how useful they could be. Because you think like
the snow.
sunglasses, sun, which in some places. Summer, yes, but the sun in Colorado, especially with all the snow and the reflections, they have been unbelievable. Especially because shady rays are
Polarized.
Polarized, yes,
Polarizing.
yeah. So I always thought that like I don't know, you were away from sunglasses for a while. It's like okay, cool people, they wear their sunglasses. It's whatever. They actually are very useful, very practical. And Shady Rays, they have a whole bunch of awesome deals. I probably went over my minute, didn't I?
Really quick though, polarized sunglasses are typically so expensive.
They are, not
Shady
these
Rays,
ones.
Extremely affordable.
Because you can get 50% off 2 or more pairs if you go to their store at the Park Meadows Mall, or if you go to shadyrays.com and use the code DNVR. If you don't like them, you can exchange them for a new pair. You can return them for free within 30 days. There's no risk. If you lose them, you break them. They'll give you new ones, no questions asked. It's a great company, great sunglasses, 5 stars from 200,000 people. Get sunglasses; they're worth it.
We've had people send us some incredible gifts.
Yeah.
Over the years. Will someone please send Henry some prescription glasses? This man hasn't seen anything since 2019. No wonder his takes are so bad. He can't see the games.
No, it is crazy. That's why I got those binoculars, because like you can see every I know what's happening in the game.
He's like what, like the next gen stats gifs that come out that are just the little dots.
That's what he's
That's what Henry sees when he watches football.
It's all, but then like it's just like, oh, who's that down on the field? Hell if I know. You wear the binoculars, you pull those up, you see exactly who it is.
You wear binoculars?
The one time
around the neck.
He just has them glued to his eyes.
The one
Could
time
you
I went
imagine?
to a game at the
Like a superhero.
At the Chiefs stadium, the press box is so far from the field that I couldn't tell the difference between Jamal Charles and CJ Anderson when they were running the ball.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
You're like close to planes, right? From what I understand.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you probably have to like pop your ears 3 times on the way up.
Oh boy. Oh man, that is. So you dropped Burrowhead? I know you should call it Chiefs Stadium.
Oh.
Yeah. Also, huge upset. They were saying the whole broadcast GEHA Field.
Yeah. Yeah.
We didn't know how to pronounce it. It's just the
No.
letters.
No.
Well,
Yeah.
and that was. Did you see the graphic the Chiefs posted?
No.
So they like did like the quote graphic of Chris
Makes sense that you
Jones.
follow the Chiefs on Twitter.
Well, no, it's not. I don't even follow them. Somebody else tweeted and said like, "Oh, what an L." I follow the people who call the Chiefs out on their L's.
Oh, okay, nice.
And one of the
Good
L's
save, good
was
save.
when they took the quote from Chris Jones after the game when he said, "Nobody disrespects Arrowhead." But then on the quote graphic, they put in like the GEHA Field at in like, parentheses in there. And the worst part is he actually said it after. So like he's like, nobody expects it. And then he's like, GEHA Field. And it's like, you could have just put it in there without getting made fun of like this.
Wow.
Yeah. Good, great interview by James Palmer after the game. I mean, he was up there with Chris Jones.
He
and,
was.
Man, when James asked him about Patrick Mahomes, how heroic of a performance he was. Did you hear Chris Jones' answer?
No.
He said, "We're not talking about the offense. We're talking about the defense
like
and
that.
holding the Bengals."
Oh, God.
Congrats on your first ever playoff sack, Chris Jones.
That is wild. Hey, oh my gosh. Did you see the way he made sure not to get roughing the passer? Oh my goodness. I mean, that is I don't want to give Chiefs credit, but that is like a masterclass on how not to get a roughing the passer. You literally have to drop them like a baby onto the ground.
It's like they say, like if you give a dog an egg, it'll be really gentle with it. That's what he looked like.
It
Wow.
seriously was.
Okay, back to
Reality?
no.
I think we're going to have some fun with this one.
Back to the Broncos, though. So, Mike Kliss said it. Mystery candidates. Maybe it is a Scooby-Doo situation where the mystery is obvious all along.
Wow.
But
I like that reference.
what if it isn't?
Ah.
What if it isn't? What if it's a true mystery candidate? What if it's someone that none of us have said this entire coaching search?
That would be amazing.
Who would it
Would
be?
it be amazing?
Potentially.
It would be fun.
Let's throw out some names and see if
Let's
it
throw
would
out
be
some
amazing.
names.
What if they're like, everyone talks about a CEO type. What if we just hired an actual CEO?
Did you see? Oh my goodness.
Gerard Mayo?
No, an actual
close.
CEO.
Oh.
There's the
Brandon Spano.
Not Andrew Berry. Oh, there's that Berry guy. He's a GM somewhere.
It's not Andrew Berry?
Matthew
Is it
Berry.
Andrew Berry? It might be
GM
Andrew
of
Berry.
Many fantasy teams.
I think you just got confused
Okay.
with Matthew Berry not actually being
Andrew Berry sounds right.
Yeah, I think Andrew Berry is a GM.
So he has a brother who's like, for one of the he's like the head of U.S. loans
Yeah.
for some
Take that down. No one cares.
one of the really big banks. I can't remember which bank it is, but one of the big ones. That's a job where, like, if you're in charge of loaning out the money for like Wells Fargo or whatever, you make a lot of money. But apparently, he's interviewing for like an NFL job, like a front office
I
job.
think he got the job with the Eagles.
Did he?
He's joining them after the Super Bowl.
Wow.
Yeah.
So maybe they could poach him.
All right, let's dive
Wow.
in. Let's dive into the most mystery of mystery candidates. All of us have submitted 3.
I think so.
Yahir also
That's a
submitted
mystery,
one.
too.
Oh, and yeah, so we have 10.
It was uninvited, but he did.
The
Yes.
special 10.
Let's do it. Yaya, can we begin unveiling the mystery?
Oh.
Nick Saban.
Nick Saban.
Failed NFL head coach Nick Saban.
That's what he's known for, yep.
Watch your mouth, Mr. Koenigsberg. Remember, Nick Saban, one of the first names mentioned at the beginning of this Broncos
Sure
coaching
was.
cycle by, I believe, Albert Breer.
Oh.
I pulled a Ryan.
Wow.
That was a callback.
Last combine.
That was a callback.
So his name was mentioned, and then yesterday his name was mentioned by Vic Lombardi. Who knows if Vic was
Who knows?
being, just throwing it out as a joke, or could Nick Saban come and follow Pat Surtain to Denver?
And Jerry.
And
And Kareem Jackson.
And Kareem Jackson. Anyone else?
Jonathan Harris.
Jonathan Kongbo.
Jonathan
Kongbo.
Chris Allen.
Chris Allen, yes.
knew there was
we
someone
go.
in that area.
Man, crazy how Denver and the Broncos went from like never touching Alabama players.
Cyrus Quanjo.
Yes,
They're
the
like
mountain.
Bama Northwest now.
Yeah, we're not northwest.
North
Of Bama.
Oh, Bama, yeah, we're northwest. You're right. Man, Nick Saban, 71 years old.
Washed.
That would be the dream. That'd be the dream.
I mean,
now
It
that
would be
Georgia
fun, right?
dominates college football, he should consider it.
He can come dominate the NFL.
yeah.
All right,
So
what do we
watch
got
yourself.
next?
He also, in 2022, made about $11 million,
Oh,
Someone said
Double
maybe you're
his
thinking
pay.
of
according to one
Strawberry.
place.
So dumb.
strawberry what?
You were saying the guy with the last name Barry.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, yes, probably Strawberry. Maybe that's the brother.
All right, next one.
Just triple Saban salary, 33.
Gary Kubiak.
Ah.
Who put this one in?
Okay, maybe
Nobody
a more
remembers.
realistic one. Bring back Gary. If you're looking for a guy who would come in and get respect, a guy who knows Denver, a guy that you can sell on just being a couple of years to turn the program back around, a guy who's won a Super Bowl in town, Gary.
Why not Gary?
I think
I
he
mean-
doesn't like coaching. I think he. I don't
He
think he
always
likes.
gets back. He leaves for a year,
Well-
then he comes back. Then he leaves for a year, then he comes back.
I don't think he likes head coaching.
But
I think that he's kind of had his fun, and now he just wants to sit in an office and kind of watch football. all
How
day.
much money do you think he made in
He wants to wear
2015 and
jeans every day.
2016? That's true. He does want to wear jeans.
I have no
I
idea.
mean, $5 million.
I think
back
less.
then? Yeah, okay, less.
I'd say
you
3.
You offer him $15 million to come back for 3 years.
You could get him.
And also, if there's anyone that knows how to manage a quarterback with a massive ego, who's done it one way his whole career, who's had success doing it that way, and needs to be kind of given some guidelines, some rules, told things to do differently, it's Gary Kubiak. The way he managed Peyton Manning and that situation was incredible. Maybe the best job of coaching that I've ever seen.
He benched him.
You need it. Exactly. And then he brought him back at just the right time. You want a guy to be able to
He got
work
Peyton
with,
Manning to go under center a little bit.
You want a guy that can control Russell Wilson? Gary's proved he can do it with an even bigger personality.
I like how previous generations think like the dream is just to wear jeans every day, where like our generation is
Wow.
like at best sweats.
Yes,
Wow.
Maybe
that
just
is-
no pants, work from home. every
That's
day.
probably the next generation.
That is next generation is like, I don't know, man. I just want to never wear pants.
Wow. Wouldn't that be crazy if like people come from monkeys who wear no clothes and they get fancier and fancier clothes and then we just keep going backwards and backwards
My
until
mom used to say like all trends come back around.
Wow, that would really be a throwback.
That'd be a big turnaround. Yeah. Millions of years.
Cavemen, I mean, also.
Well, tens of thousands of years. I feel like clothes haven't been around for too long. A couple 100,000 years.
Well, there's been the loincloths for a while.
100,000.
Well, I mean, I would guess that like the Ice Age was probably like when clothes became like a huge deal.
They're humans then?
Yeah.
100,000 years ago.
I think that's about when we started calling people humans and not like, oh, there's a Neanderthal that's kind of like a human.
You are history, guys. We're relying on you.
We're
I mean,
going to trust you on this one.
Comparatively.
Let's see if this next candidate wears clothes or not. It is Condoleezza Rice, definitely.
No dislikes for that.
Definitely.
Yes.
Bad
Yes.
setup. You didn't know who was coming back.
I didn't know who was coming. I had no idea.
Probably wearing clothes though.
But
Condoleezza Rice has interviewed for a head
Yes,
coaching
she
job
has.
before.
almost became the Cleveland Browns head coach, less than a decade ago. If they
It's one of the craziest
have
days ever
a
on
mystery
Twitter.
candidate and are keeping it very close to the vest, Condoleezza is as close as you can get. And if you
Wow.
want news not to break of her being the person, well, you just hire within. You literally hire one of the 3 people on your search committee.
Honestly, I wouldn't put it past him at this point.
That would be something. That would be wild.
It would be.
And talk about. So we heard, what was it? Yesterday, Rappaport said the Broncos are looking for a big candidate. Like, I know Peyton Manning's big. I know some of these other names we're going to talk about, or maybe we talked about Peyton, maybe we don't, are big. But Condoleezza, former Secretary of State. I don't know if you can get any bigger in terms of like a job title
President.
that you're
President,
hiring.
exactly. That's a pretty clear one.
And I don't think we're going to have any on this list. Maybe.
Probably not. Oh, only one way to find out. You know, there is a
true.
small part of me that does wonder if like these owners actually are just terrible. And it's like, yeah, we're just going to have fun. And it's like, here's our buddy Condi. Condi's always wanted to be a head coach. Let's make her a head coach.
Like I said, I wouldn't put it past it. By the way, to everyone freaking out in the comments,
I think I would.
these are like tinfoil hat
Yes,
mystery candidates,
Yes.
not actual. Well, we're not serious, but I guess it's possible.
Some of them could be. I think you'll understand the ones that aren't.
Yes.
Fully.
You would think.
Maybe.
There's only so many times we can talk about our thoughts on Sean Payton and Jim Harbaugh. We've done
really-
it for 3 weeks.
I really wish that we could have a conversation about what president would make the best football coach, but it would just
Yeah.
upset someone.
Yeah.
Everyone, I think.
Maybe. I don't
Most
know.
people.
I think there's a
Yeah.
fun 15% or so
Yeah.
that would have a good time.
That's what we're doing here. Fun 15%.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's get
We're
to
over
the next
100
one
likes already, by the way.
Here.
Let's
Oh,
go.
100
100.
likes.
Only
Shout out
2
to you guys.
dislikes.
Shout out to Cody, too, of course. All right, next one. Who do we have as a mystery candidate? Bill Belichick.
Oh.
Maybe.
I mean, yeah. I mean, maybe. This is the big swing thing where it's like anything, I guess, is technically possible.
This also was mentioned by
Yeah.
Was.
who was it?
Albert Breer.
Albert
Same,
Andrew Breer.
same sentence as the Nick Saban thing.
Yes.
Like
Like
not
it's
to be confused with Albert Brandt.
Oh God. Now you're really confusing me. Not to be confused with Kyle Brandt.
Wow.
Yes.
Not to
Yes.
be confused with Brandt Tobler.
Not to be confused with.
Toblerone.
Toblerone.
Is that him?
Not to be confused with CU assistant basketball coach Mike Rohn.
Or not to be confused with Jim Rome.
Okay.
Not to be confused with Rome, the country.
That's not a
Or
country.
ancient Rome, which kind of ties this
That
back
was a country.
into clothes.
All right.
Rome is in Italy, by the way.
You're right.
Thank you.
Wow.
Sorry.
Just throwing it out
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Just
Would Bill Belichick be the
What?
biggest, big candidate out there in terms of like a football person?
Yes.
Yeah, would have to be, right?
Yeah, and I mean, there's a world in which he's just like over the Patriots and all that. It's unlikely.
Patriots see an opportunity to get 2 first-round picks.
All right, next one. Yes.
Bigger that, yeah.
It was asked bigger than McVay. Yeah, I
Yeah.
would say Belichick over McVay.
Yeah, I agree. And bigger than Saban, unfortunately.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, next one. Jason Sudeikis.
What?
whoa.
Tell me about this one.
I mean, why not just hire Ted Lasso himself?
Wow, you thought the Broncos went out a limb getting Nathaniel Hackett. That would be something.
Wow.
They can say like he learned so much playing the role of a coach that we're ready to make him our coach.
And wasn't just a soccer coach.
Right.
was
He was a
previously
successful
a-
college football coach.
At a mid-level, low level.
Wow.
Division 2.
Yeah.
We're really into something here.
Yeah.
I like where your head's at, Ryan. And also, some of these coaches we talk about, serious and joking, would be awful for the media. Jason Sudeikis, come on.
Yeah. Well, and it's also kind of like a Wrexham play, right? Like just bring in a famous person and get a bunch of attention and money and
I don't care how good or bad the
We'll get
Broncos
attention.
are. The Broncos would have so much media, not just ESPN, but you'd have NBC out here. You'd have everything covering them.
I agree. Someone said we just fired great value Ted Lasso. Yeah, so that's why you get the real Ted Lasso.
Exactly.
Jeez. Okay, next one. Who do we have as a mystery candidate? It is Mike Shanahan.
Yeah, I mean, like, he's around. I think it's been pretty obvious that he isn't interested, but in terms of the other names on the list, he's right up there. Experienced, give him a bunch of money, have him come back, reset the team for a couple years. Yeah, why not?
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest twice.
Whoa.
First, me being honest, I actually thought this was like a possibility that the Broncos could have gone to for years until I saw Mike Shanahan's speech when he got inducted to the Ring of Fame last year. Like, he seemed really, really, really old.
He does. I mean, it just I can't separate, like, is he old from, like, did the hair? Some people say hair turns gray faster. He just has an older vibe to him than, like, who's the same age? The Pete Carroll's the same age. They just don't feel like the same age.
My
Nick
parents
Saban.
are old, but
Nick
they don't
Saban.
sound like it when they talk.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, it would be. I don't think they can do this, but it's been brought up as a realistic person. So I'm happy that you had him on your list, Henry.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people think that it may be him. I would be blown away. I just do not think that it's him.
Nope.
I don't either. Last night, though, here's my other, I'm being honest.
Oh.
I had a Kyle Shanahan moment last night. I almost added him to the list. And I was just thinking, like, what if Kyle Shanahan really wanted Mac Jones all along? And they went Trey Lance. And obviously, this is a thing that's been out there.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just making this up. They went Trey Lance, and now they're in quarterback hell, right? Because Brock Purdy is going to be out until August. Who knows if he's ever able to recapture the magic he had going. Trey Lance, the flashes haven't been enough.
No.
Jimmy G, obviously not Super Bowl quality. And what if Kyle Shanahan is just like, this is about to be a mess. I got to get out of here.
Wow.
Do you think? How crazy is it to say that, like, if Mac Jones was the quarterback of the 49ers, they could be in the Super Bowl this week?
Not crazy at all.
Because, like, it's Brock Purdy. That's a comparison. Can you do better than Brock Purdy?
But he couldn't this year. Although maybe he could have
exactly,
in the Shanahan offense.
Especially. Especially in, like, year 3
Shanahan
of it.
has, like, Nick Mullins looking good. It's
Exactly.
so hard to even know
Everyone.
but that's what's crazy about, like, why can't Trey Lance be amazing in
Because
that
he
offense?
just doesn't have those, like, he just has the physical skills. Like, he isn't one of those, like, Brock Purdy is just like your competitor, like, high effort, just like I'm going to make smart decisions type of guy.
Yeah.
Trey Lance is like I'm going to run around until it's time to throw the ball as far as I can guy.
Fair
and maybe
enough.
you can coach that out of him.
You would just think, I mean, maybe it does come down to, like, smarts. And any smart quarterback, he can get going. And I'm not saying that Trey Lance isn't smart.
No.
But you know what I mean in terms of, like,
That wasn't his strength
a field
coming out.
diagnoser.
I like
Yes.
that. I like that thought, though. What would it take? 2 first-round picks.
Yeah, I'm
No.
absolutely.
Do you think the 49ers would do that?
Oh, no. But if Kyle Shanahan wants out, though, that's the only way this starts in the first place.
I thought of a good example for the Trey Lance thing, so I'm jumping back. So Tom Brady last year threw more passes than Trey Lance has thrown since he started high school, or maybe since he played
Wild.
varsity his senior year of high school.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Wow.
but that just puts it in perspective. Like, that's a raw quarterback.
Yeah, very raw.
Brock Purdy, the opposite, played a whole lot of football.
Yeah. That's
Trey
wild.
Lance maybe has not even hit 10,000 hours yet.
Probably not. No.
Throwing passes.
All right, next
Okay.
mystery candidate. Has this candidate hit 10,000 hours as a head coach? The mystery candidate is Lincoln Riley.
Again, it's the big swing. You want to fix the offense? Bring in Lincoln Riley. What does he get? Like 10, 12 million a year?
10, I think.
10? Again,
Maybe
triple
it
it.
was 13.
Triple it. Why not? Just triple it.
39.
There you go. Why not just say, we're giving you all this money, come in here, fix it. There's a big swing.
Do you give him access to the private jet whenever he and his family want? Because he has that in his deal.
That might be a
also
sticking
bought
point.
him
for
like
him.
a $10 million home in Malibu.
And didn't
Get
they
him up
also
Two, according to Dre.
And didn't they also
Get him a
buy
$20 million
his
home
old
here.
And they bought his
Yeah.
home. That seems like it should be illegal.
Ownership stake.
Oh.
Can you do that? I don't know.
I don't know. Then just tell him, like, buy him a mansion here, buy him a plane, do whatever. He solves your problems.
Does he? You think he would solve your problems?
I think he has the best shot of anybody.
Wow.
I think
Of anybody.
I think of. I see, like, it's just tough with Bill Belichick right now because you're like, oh, great coach. But what exactly does he do again? Like, the players just play well when he's the coach.
That's true.
Which is hard to quantify.
Good.
He personally-
That's kind of good coaching.
It's great. It's great coaching. It's great coaching. But again, it's like, what does Lincoln Riley do? It's like, he would draw up an incredible offense. In terms of fixing Russell Wilson, like, you could make the case maybe for somebody else. And maybe Sean Payton would be at the top. Kyle Shanahan's probably at the top of that list. Kyle Shanahan's ahead of Lincoln Riley.
You're talking about a guy who took an Alabama cast-off backup, just threw him to the curb.
Guy was trash.
And turned him into a guy who's now starting in the Super Bowl.
Oh, see, I thought you were going. No,
Jalen
'cause-
Hurts.
yeah, Jalen Hurts. But then you also have Kyler Murray. How good did
Yes.
Kyler Murray look? Who else did he have? Spencer Rattler was kind of sick for a bit.
Let's-
Caleb Williams.
Let's rephrase this.
Spencer Rattler was never that sick.
took
was
a
kinda sick for a bit.
quarterback. He took a quarterback that took Alabama to the national championship game and played in the first half, and he didn't take him to a championship game. That's what Lincoln Riley is.
Well, no.
I mean, yeah.
If he was in the SEC, he could have done it.
If we're talking about Lincoln Riley, would he be the guy you bring in to execute the tank for Caleb plan?
wow. I thought that was getting
Where'd you
dark.
guys think I was going?
I thought you were going to execute someone on the team.
Oh, no.
You can't say bring him in to execute long pause.
You'd be executing the contract of the quarterback.
Yeah.
You'd be cutting ties with that.
I mean,
went to
if
Caleb
you
Williams.
interviewed
You
him,
could.
that would be his plan, I'm guessing.
Yeah. Just one bad year.
Why
and
not
then build
wait
it up
a
with
year?
Caleb.
Buyout goes down. You don't make him sit here through the stink year. You bring him in with Caleb Williams. He gets to develop Caleb for one more year before you bring them both in. You get to
Barry
bring in a
Rosberg?
worse coach who can who can just lose games next year.
Not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Texans do it every year.
They do.
Bring in a coach to lose a bunch of games and fire him.
Yep.
Texans still not have hired D'Amico Ryans.
Interesting. All right.
Interesting.
Keep it going.
Interesting.
Bill Cowher. Speaking of interesting.
How long has Bill Cowher been out of coaching?
We're like, wow, Sean Payton's been on the Fox set for a whole year now. Bill Cowher's been, what, on the CBS
There's
set
like
for...
kids in
Basically
high
since-
school who only know him as a CBS broadcast.
Yes.
It's since Mike Tomlin took over.
Right.
Yeah.
15 years?
It's
12
been a
years?
long time. Nobody actually knows. It's one of the great mysteries. But Bill Cowher, again, it's basically like Mike Shanahan, right? It's just
Even
some
longer,
differences.
though.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
in
guess
terms
even
of it,
longer.
yeah.
But I mean, like, it's just your old football man. Bring him in. He'll make him tough. I don't really know schematically what he'd do.
He
Like
was
maybe he brings
losing-
that defense over.
He was losing his shit over the Eagles running
Hey.
the ball so well.
Only 65. Yeah.
Like,
Last
this
year,
is old school football.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
real quick, guys, his last year was 2006.
No way.
Wow.
That's
And-
also amazing how long Tomlin's been around and never had a losing record.
It is crazy. Did we include him? We could.
We talked
he's-
about including
We did. It's
him.
basically Bill Belichick. It's the same thing.
That is crazy. There's-
Where you don't really know what he does good as a coach other than his team plays really well.
It's like he handles
Yeah,
the
yeah,
defense
yeah.
pretty well, though.
Yeah.
Like he'll handle the defense.
All right. Last one or second to last
Second
one.
to last one. Someone said in the comment section, Peyton Manning is a quarterback coach. I don't think about it. I don't think so.
Peyton
Manning.
As a head coach.
All right. Just for 1 second.
Okay.
Wouldn't it make perfect sense? All this weird stuff going on, these mystery candidate. There's no person that fits the bill to jump in and come out of nowhere and surprise everyone and make everyone so happy than Peyton Manning.
It's
No
true.
one.
And we always say, like, Peyton Manning could just take whatever job he wanted in the NFL. Like, if Peyton wants a job, you just give it to him. What if nobody's ever had the balls, which we're allowed to say, to ask him whether he wants to be the head coach? Like, what if this is the first time somebody's been like, hey, Peyton, do you just want to be the head coach? We'll give you $30 million for it.
I think there's one person that has for sure said that. Jim Irsay probably has for
That
sure
he
said
probably
that
has.
to him.
But it was like at 1:30 a.m. and there's a bunch of misspellings.
He's like, go back to bed, Jim.
Yeah.
He texted him the next morning like, "Hey, sorry, my daughter had my phone."
right.
He's like, "Dude, your daughter's 60."
Outside of Indianapolis, though, Henry, maybe it never has happened before.
Maybe. It's not going to happen, though. Like, he's not taking this job. That's why we haven't talked about any of these people, though.
If you include ownership, if you say here is 3% ownership, which is how many hundreds of millions?
A lot.
What if you gave it, like, increasing? It's like you get...
I got 13 times 3, like pretty quick. I'm not getting
Yeah, that was impressive.
3% of
Wow.
1.5 million.
What if you say, like, we'll give you, like, 1.5% ownership? We'll give you another 0.5% for each year you coach. And then at the end, you have a chance to, like, cash out, or you can hold on to it. So if he sticks around for, like, 10 years, he winds up as, like, a pretty significant, like,
It's called
around
a
10%.
vesting schedule in the biz.
Okay, well, we don't need to know that word. That's a word to keep out some of the people who didn't go business school.
Plus,
but yeah.
he's also getting,
His salary.
20 million a year.
And then,
Yeah.
so basically, it's like, yeah, so when you retire, you kind of have the option. Do you want to stick around as this minority owner? Maybe we give you the opportunity to buy even more at that point. Maybe, like, your family can buy in. You can cash out, go buy a different team.
What would you think if let's say the money works itself out and it's a ton and there's ownership included? Would this be a good football move?
Absolutely.
A guy that's never done it before.
You got to try.
Think of like Kyle Shanahan. Why does he win? Because he's the smartest.
I agree. I think it'd be a great move. I just had to ask.
Yeah.
Would Peyton Manning be the best dressed coach on the sideline in the NFL? I think he might be.
Why?
Well, because I was just trying to envision him as
Like he's wearing like his orange and blue plaid every game.
I think there's a small chance he is a suit guy on the sideline. Maybe not full
Wow.
suit because those don't even really
Wow.
exist. But like you just think of it, like I can't imagine him wearing sweatpants.
It's
Maybe
true.
that makes it crazy, or like a ball cap with a headset. Like I think he would. I think he might be the best dressed out of nowhere.
Hey,
What do
I can't-
coaches wear on the sideline?
Mostly
if-
just like hoodies and stuff.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
A couple
I-
have khakis.
Pants.
I know the Vic
Exactly.
Fangio.
Khakis.
The Vic Fangio was the gray sweatsuit. I
But he didn't wear that during games.
think he did.
No, he wore like a blue.
I think he wore some. I think at times
He,
he
definitely wore
did.
a gray sweater a couple times. But I don't think he wore gray sweatpants to games.
Who was the last coach who wore a full suit? Over under
we weren't
35
alive.
years ago.
Yeah, I don't think we were alive. I'll take the
In a football
Oof.
game, because I know there's some basketball coaches that have.
Basketball coaches, a lot like
Yeah.
most of them do it every game.
Yeah,
It's very
yeah.
common.
Hey,
football.
Or at least
would
used to.
would you be against
Pre-COVID.
it if you wore a hoodie and a sport coat?
Oh god, he would never. Peyton knows so much better than to jump on that. That trend has been alive for what, like 5 years? It's been kind of popular for like 2 to 3 years. It's gonna be gone again soon. Peyton knows that.
Peyton knows it. But does our final mystery candidate, let's get to it in 1 second. Got to tell you about our friends over at DraftKings Sportsbook. First, you bet $5 on the Super Bowl. You are going to get $200 in free bets, which then you can use on the Super Bowl. And boy, $200 in free bets will get you so many different types of bets that you want over at DraftKings for the Super Bowl. There's going to be hundreds of different bets that you can have going on at DraftKings. And of course, if you don't want to wait till Super Bowl weekend to bet, you can bet this week on the Nuggets. You can bet on the Avs. You can bet on any sport that's out there. DraftKings is going to have you covered. So use that promo code DNVR when you sign up. Place a $5 bet on any or on the Super Bowl, and you'll get $200 in free bets right away. So check them out, DraftKings Sportsbook, the best-rated sportsbook app. See our show notes for details. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. Void in Ohio. And if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700.
Also, if you are like the Jaguars punter, I believe it was, or maybe kicker, who got injured in the locker room because Jack Del Rio, when he was the coach there, was trying to do like a motivational ploy, and he put an axe in a stump in the locker room as like some sort of thing, and then somehow the punter got hit by it, and it sliced his leg open, and he was out of work. What that guy should have done back in like 2003 is called Backus and Shanker. I don't know why that came up on Twitter today, but it did.
Bravo.
Shout out Backus and Shanker. They could also, if you're another Jaguars special teamer, and you got kicked by your boss, like whoever the guy was last year.
For them.
Wow.
Backus and Schenker is the place to go. They have won over $1 billion for Colorado families, which is insane. And the best part is you pay nothing until they win. Not a single fee until they win your case. They're that confident that they're going to get the job done. So call our friends over at Backus and Schenker at 222-2222. Backus and Schenker wins.
There we go. And speaking of winning, would our final mystery candidate bring winning to Denver? Let's see who it is.
Who is it? I don't know this one.
I think this might be a Yahir Whoa!
It's me?
Ryan.
That's just no.
Oh
Wow.
my! You're even a living graphic too. You're
This
moving.
is sick. This is
Wow.
like Harry Potter.
He is
It's like the
moving.
paper in Harry Potter.
Holy cow! It really is.
Those are sick.
This would be a fantastic hire. By saying that, I expect scoops.
I expect 2 wins. That's
That's sick that I would win 2 games.
Could you imagine? Honestly, you might be like 2 and 4 and then get fired.
I think I could win.
You might
games.
get those quick.
What
The
would
thing is, I don't want the job.
what would the contract look like to pry you away from this job? You said you don't want it, but money can buy
Henry
everything.
said double the salary. It's gonna have to be more than that.
Really?
Yeah, it's gonna have to be more than double the
$1
salary.
million.
Yeah, I'd take it.
You have to.
4 year. I think you could have a job here after you're done.
The only thing I need to be promised is that like I don't get run out of town.
Oh, see,
yeah.
that is a tough thing.
Odds are.
Yeah.
That's a tough thing.
But I think that people would be more mad at the ownership than me.
Oh, you're right. We would make that sure that
Right.
that's the case. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
It's like one of those things where like you have to play a backup, and it's like it's not the
Yeah,
backup's fault.
yeah.
The coaching staff put him in that position.
That's why the backup quarterback's like the most loved guy. Because if he comes in and he's bad, it's like, oh, well, we weren't expecting anything.
Yeah, I feel
we
like
would expect something from you, though.
the honeymoon period for me would be sick. Like,
How
because
long?
I'm just like ripping zingers in press conferences, and everyone's like, "Wow, this guy's awesome." And like, I'm just talking about how much I love Denver and the Broncos.
know.
And
The last person I thought that was going to have a long honeymoon period didn't even make it through his first season as the head coach.
yep,
That is true.
that's why I said who knows how long it would be, but that honeymoon period.
Yeah, oh, it'd be great. You'd
Like
win the
after I
offseason.
win the press conference,
Yeah.
everyone's like, "This, I don't know,
Yeah.
he might have something."
Maybe.
My
That is
biggest
true.
question, would you take away Russell Wilson's office?
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah, right away.
yeah. I would actually make that a podcasting room for you guys.
Oh,
Wow.
we upgraded from a closet in the facility to an upstairs
Ryan
room.
O'Halloran would lose his shit.
Oh, my goodness.
It reminds
yes, he
me
would.
of it was at the end of the season. I was talking to Nick Ferguson, and he asked me how much I would have to get paid to play quarterback for the Broncos for 1 game. And I said like $50,000, and he said I was insane. He was like,
that
no,
wouldn't
you
even
can't do
cover
that.
the injuries.
Exactly, but what
Yeah.
I said was like, you take the snap and you either hand the ball off or you just throw it into the ground. Like, I'm not out there trying to win the game. Just like for $50,000, I would take the risk that I could get the ball out of my hand quickly enough to not die.
And
I
It's
have
not like they're
too
calling
much
passes
pride.
anyway.
I would be trying to win.
You do get the Kendall Hinton treatment then.
Exactly.
Though. Like you tried, right?
So true.
Well, I guess you have to try a little more than just like immediately throwing the ball into the ground.
That people would hate.
If
have
you
to-
fumble
you have
it,
to
you
get-
have to try to make the
How
tackle.
many
Yes, you
passes
would.
are they really going to call with me at quarterback,
That's
though?
true. None.
It's not going to be many. They understand
Probably
the
the same as
circumstance.
the Brock Purdy when he didn't have an arm.
Oh man, they
Wow.
called one. Was it a screen?
Two.
Two?
Yep.
Were they
Wow.
both screens?
There probably
Yeah.
is like the second play's a pass just to keep him honest the rest of the game.
I really wish I would have placed a parlay of Brock Purdy not throwing an incompletion and the Eagles winning the game.
And him to play start the game and finish the game.
Yes,
Wow.
you're right. You throw that in there. Oh my goodness.
Also, the chat told us that Mike Nolan was the last coach to wear a suit. Look at how silly he looks when he's running up the sideline in a suit. It just looks wrong.
Yeah, it
He
looks like
looks
it's
out
out
of
of a
place.
movie or
Yeah.
something.
I think that's probably why they don't do it anymore, though, is because everybody's running. Like, that's now an athletic position. It's like, oh, I got to sprint up the sideline and tell the ref that we're calling timeout or whatever. You
I
know?
wonder
I
how
like-
many rip pants there were because of the running.
Those are pleated. Those aren't going to rip.
Yeah. Peyton could have those like Walmart khakis. They're probably
I don't know if that's
Rip-proof.
where you go.
Walmart khakis. Are we talking about Jim Harbaugh now?
Wow.
Oh,
Is that
wow.
part of the deal? As many khakis as you want?
on lifetime supply. How many? I bet someone's asked him, but how many pairs do you think he has? Like, is he like a 3 pair and he just has a
Right,
good
right, right.
rotation,
Good
or
one.
does he have He just wears a different pair every day.
I honestly think he might be going away from khakis. I'm pretty sure.
It's a bad brand.
See,
to latch yourself onto.
Like those are not khakis he's wearing.
Those are
and
not
this is
khakis,
recent.
those are blue.
This is recent. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the khaki thing is maybe not dead, but he is a little more versatile. Okay, so those are some khakis.
Man, he does wear that just blue Michigan sweatshirt all the time.
Yeah, he does.
He would latch on to some Broncos thing and
Just
wear it all the time.
honestly, like certain people don't have time to think about what they're wearing.
Really true. Like, what was
So
it?
true.
The Apple guy. Why can't I think of his name?
Oh, yeah, Steve Jobs.
just
Yeah.
wore the same thing every day because he said
Wouldn't
it
that be
just
nice?
it took a decision out of his day.
And that's a big decision for me every day. I'm
Yeah.
like, which
Ugh.
black T-shirt am I gonna wear?
Something fell.
It
Oh,
was just a chair.
Yeah, they don't like these jokes that we're throwing out. Should we talk to the people?
Let's talk.
let's talk to the people.
All right, and if you don't mind hitting us with a thumbs up, we would really appreciate it.
Wait.
Also-
really quick, what would you wear if you were the coach?
I would wear sweatpants and a button-down shirt.
Like right now?
Yeah, like right now.
Wow, that is a good question. They wear some nice sweatpants.
It would be-
Typically, I don't like those kinds of sweatpants, but the ones they wear are pretty nice.
Could you imagine if I got hired as the Broncos, I showed up to my press conference in like a vintage Broncos T-shirt?
Oh, people would love it.
It would.
Would love it.
I know.
Well, people outside of the organization would love it.
I have to admit something. I got worried when I saw Joe Burrow's game day fit.
What was it?
It was like a pink jean jacket with pink pants and a pink T-shirt.
If he
And
would have
it's
won,
not
you
it's not the
it.
fact that he wore pink. It's just like I just felt like it needed more. Like it needed to be more like I don't know, it wasn't swaggy
like
enough
Bengals
for me.
themed, kind of.
Like I feel like that's a bold choice.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
But it's one of those you ever put on something for the first time and you're not fully confident in it.
Oh yeah.
And you're just like every time someone looks at you, you're like, what do they think of this?
Huh.
I feel like maybe that's what it was too bold.
Wow.
Did you say see the day before, like the travel day? He wore a T-shirt that just said like "sorry" on it, and apparently the brand is "sorry in advance."
Oh.
And so it's like
That's so dope. It would have
except for when he doesn't win.
But yeah, he would have if it wasn't for the refs.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Also, it was just the fighting salmon. That's all it was. The
Oh,
fighting salmon.
Salmon.
What?
Salmon.
Yeah, but what is that?
Wow.
It wasn't salmon at all. It was full pink.
Oh, the
Salmon.
color was salmon. Yeah.
Okay.
Are you been pronouncing the L in salmon?
I always do because that's how you do it in Spanish. Salmon.
Salmon.
That's
Who's the guy?
ridiculous.
Who's
I didn't
the
know that.
football player who did that?
I wonder
think
how
it
the
was
salmon
Eli
said.
Apple.
Did what?
Oh,
Said salmon.
Did you?
God, that guy.
Eli Apple's on the Bengals, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see what MVS said about him? He said it wasn't torching, but something like that. He said like, oh, I was torching him all game.
Wow. Anyways, I would have a really hard time wearing black every day if I was the head coach of the Broncos.
You couldn't.
It'd be tough.
You could not. Now, my
Yeah.
question is, would you embrace hating the Raiders, or would you be very calm about it? Like, oh, they're just for the people on the podcast. He not only rolled his eyes, he gave me like the tilted head lane as well.
Like
Is that
puppy.
James Harden gif?
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk to the people. We got super chats here from Pimu 006.
Pimu.
Showing love from Thunder Bay. Thanks, DNVR. Zach, where's Thunder Bay?
Well, I was gonna say it's a show in Las Vegas.
It sounds like one of the amusement parks, like the water themed ones, like the Disney World, whatever. It's like Blizzard
yeah.
Beach is one of them down there in Florida.
Yeah.
It could also be a track in Mario Kart.
Oh, I'd be very down to go Thunder Bay, whatever it is, though.
Bay.
I'm pretty sure it's in Canada.
Oh, I was gonna guess Florida. So yeah, I'll take your word for
Yeah.
that.
Can we get a fact check on that?
Well, we love you. Thank you for the super chat.
Tristan says, what's the ceiling for the Broncos with Jim Harbaugh or Sean Payton? If you make that higher, you're doing it to win a Super Bowl.
What's the ceiling this year?
That's a
I
crazy.
shouldn't say.
Ceiling's so hard though, because you could just say like, okay, Sean Payton, he fixes Russell Wilson, so now Russell Wilson, Super Bowl caliber quarterback, he's not before. You get Tim Patrick back. Jerry Jeudy's the number one receiver. Tim Patrick, Cortland Sutton, you've got a number 2, number 3 combo in there somewhere.
yeah.
Like you can go through and find a way for this team just to be really good.
What's crazy is if we would have done a worst case scenario pod before the season, if we would have talked about the floor, we would have been wrong.
No,
No.
because the floor is always very low. The ceiling is always very, very high.
Just like our infamous floor worst case scenario for the Broncos probably did 4 years ago. People hated us for it, and we didn't even. We
were wrong.
We were higher.
We were too
because
high.
we were too
I think we said
high.
7 wins was the floor.
Yeah, and I think that was their 5-year win,
Yeah.
or 5-win year. But Ryan, you're right. The ceiling's the Super Bowl this year. Is the expectation a winning season with either of those guys?
Yes, should be.
Yeah, I think
I would
realistically,
agree. 9-8 is kind of
playoffs.
Yeah.
Playoffs is probably where you're saying success.
Yep.
Failure if you don't make it.
Thunder Bay is in Canada.
Makes
Ontario,
sense considering he gave us
Ontario.
I might not
Canadian
know
dollars.
that Rome is just a city, but I know that Thunder Bay is in
Yeah,
Canada.
that is wild.
I don't know. It just felt like a country.
The
in the
role
moment.
was the Roman Empire back in the day.
Right.
It's an
Back when they controlled a
empire.
bunch of things.
Right.
But now it's just the whole city.
Man, so
I think I get a break for that.
Your
It
geography
was a country at one point
Is it a
by
country, though?
definition.
Empire.
Empire. Ryan, your geography.
I realize it's not now. I'm giving myself a break.
Your geography floor is incredibly low, but your ceiling is
Wow.
incredibly
Yeah.
high.
Imagine if we gave him like a summer of lessons. Could be a whiz.
One time here at the DNVR bar, there was a map of Europe with no labels on it, and we did a TikTok point out Serbia. I got it right.
Dang.
Wow.
That's impressive.
Thank you.
Wow.
Next one from Poo. P-Moo 006
We
again.
already got that one. Oh,
No, it's another.
from Zach.
He says tinfoil hat conspiracy. Peyton Manning head coach. There we go, Zach.
There we go. Yep.
I feel the second most confident of that of all the ones that we did up there after the one that I added that wasn't even on the list, which was Kyle Shanahan.
Wow.
Man, I would love it. I would love it, and I think Broncos.
By the way,
Country.
my second most confident is like 2%. My most confident is 2.1%.
2.1. Peyton's 2.1.
No.
Oh, Kyle's 2.1.
Kyle's 2.1.
Oh man,
You
that'd
could have
be
made
incredible.
money on the Peyton Manning odds though, because that was like 150 to 1.
It was.
If you think 2%, that's a good
You're
bet.
right.
That is-
You're
that's-
right.
That's positive value.
So Pimu 006 now again hits us with the super chat. Says Super Bowl Radio Row. Let's go.
Oh, let's go.
That's what we're feeling too. We cannot
Also,
wait.
something that I realized on Friday, this most recent Friday,
Yeah.
anytime we do a show outside of the friendly confines of the DNVR bar, it's just slightly better.
It will always be better.
And we get 5 of them next week.
5 of them next week.
Monday through Friday, we will be going live, I believe, at 1 p.m. Denver time, so just an hour later. So make sure you're tuning in then.
And late nights always lead to good pods, too.
Also
It's
true.
It's true. It's very
Also
true.
All right, next one from S. Williams. Says, huge congrats for getting on Radio Row. That's dope. DNVR versus everybody. Now I have a reason to listen in. Congrats.
Hell
Hooray.
Yeah. Thank you for rolling with us, Williams.
It's going to be podcast row when we're done with it.
Oh,
Wow.
There we go. Tiffany Silver says, who would be Sean Payton's offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator? And same for Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah, Vic Fangio off the table, of course.
Which is
Is
fine.
he fully, though? He hasn't signed the contract yet.
He hasn't.
And he told Mike Kliss and
Oh my
Michael
God.
Silver, that's not a done deal yet. So it could be because he wants to see where Harbaugh and or Sean Payton go, or it could be if DeMeco Ryans leaves San Francisco, he could go back to San Francisco and work for Kyle Shanahan.
Interesting. That's weird that it got reported and he's not fully in.
It was reported factually
By
that he was
everyone.
their guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
For
Well,
OC, Joe Lombardi, for Sean Payton, they spent 12 years together. He was a quarterback's coach. He's available. I think that's an easy one. Not super exciting.
he doesn't
You
matter.
don't need,
The
I was
OC
gonna say,
doesn't
you don't
matter.
need exciting.
True.
OC.
You could throw defensive coordinator. I had Ryan Nielsen at the top of the list, but he just took the Falcons job.
Mike Zimmer.
Mike Zimmer's a possibility. Mike,
He wants to be back in the
I-
NFL. That's
Yeah.
why he's not officially going to see you
I
yet.
think that he and Dion have a handshake agreement. It's just like, if I don't get an NFL job, I'll be there the next day.
And if George Payton's still here, another connection
Yep.
for Zimmer to come to the Broncos.
Mike Nolan would be another one. He coached for
Suit guy?
3 years as linebacker. Yeah. Yeah. Head coach experience. There's an
I
option.
love it.
And then
He's
for-
been the Broncos defensive coordinator before.
He has, hasn't he? I forgot about that.
Yeah.
And then for Harbaugh, I think the Harbaugh David Shaw thing could make sense.
That's real.
I think it would make a lot of sense. I mean, because then
That
but again, like
so lame.
it's probably Harbaugh calling plays though is the thing, and so it's Harbaugh's offense.
Right.
You think it like if David Shaw were to be a head coach, you think of it as like he's kind of your run game coordinator.
Harbaugh
Like that's
gets
his
Luck out of
specialization.
retirement.
Oh, 170 pounder?
Yeah. I know.
Oh god,
Been
yeah.
at the gym for a while. But
Defensive coordinator.
Toby Gerhardt
Who would it
behind
be?
under center.
Oh,
Gerhardt
love
or
it.
Gebhardt?
I think it's Gerhardt. Yeah.
Gebhardt.
Defensive coordinator for Harbaugh. Give me one.
Keep Evero was my best guess. Yeah.
That could definitely happen.
Yeah.
When you said keep, I thought that was going to be someone's first name.
That would be sick.
Maybe you just bring John Harbaugh over.
Wow. Pay him more as a defensive coordinator than he makes as a head
Needs to
coach.
hang with his buddy. I was thinking, like, if Peyton's the head coach, is Eli OC?
Oh, man, that would be incredible.
That would just be goofy. There'd just be nonsense.
Yeah.
That'd be
And then you
even
just sign off. You guys can create as much content as you want. Dion's doing it in
Wow.
Boulder
Yeah,
already.
that's true.
that would be an even sillier staff than the Nathaniel Hackett staff. You somehow went sillier than Hackett.
I don't think so.
Cooper Manning is your wide receivers coach,
Sign me up.
and then Arch, of course, your quarterback.
Eventually.
So my
Eventually.
question is, if they hire Peyton Manning, does Peyton Place stay? And they just do like a documentary on the Broncos, Wrexham style?
Why doesn't he just
the Broncos headquarters?
Why doesn't he just play quarterback?
The first episode is them just taking away Russ's office and being like, "No, this is Peyton's place now."
All right. Casey Israel says, bring back G Cube.
Let's go.
That is a cool name.
Yeah, that is cool. That is really cool.
Yeah.
Said GQ, G Cube.
Or G Cube.
Man, why didn't Coobs ever wear GQ?
Have you met him?
Yeah.
he's a
He
jeans
wasn't gonna
guy
be on the
for
cover.
sure.
Jeans Cube.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's for sure. Dylan Smith
That'd
says
be a cool
tinfoil hat time. What if it's Lincoln Riley and it plays into the tank for Caleb Williams narrative?
Sign me up.
Juicy.
Sign me up. Won't happen, but sign me up.
Yep. Sign
Make
me
him say
up.
no.
What's the Colorado equivalent of two Malibu mansions?
Well, I think you get one in Vail, one in Cherry Hills.
Or Cherry Hills and Boulder.
Ooh.
Yeah. I don't think it's two Subarus. I think
Maybe
our friend
two-
Taco Burrito
200
missed the.
Give you 2 bottles of
trying it
Malibu.
Yeah. With gold inside. Tristan Behrman. I'm trying to think of something expensive.
Okay.
Tristan Behrman says, watch the media love Russell Wilson if we start winning.
That's just what happens.
Just like-
Everyone loves
like-
everyone when someone's winning.
Just
Everyone
like
hates
Broncos
everyone when they
country
don't.
will absolutely love Russ.
Yep.
And final one from Anthony says, Tim Tebow, mystery coach.
I don't
Sign me up, baby.
like the man couldn't handle an NFL offense though. Is the thing. It's like
You
aren't
mean,
there
like,
reports that
intellectually?
he couldn't even remember the play when he got to the huddle? I'm pretty sure that's a story that's out there.
Really?
I'm pretty sure that's out there
You
somewhere.
want a playoff game against the Steelers? How embarrassing!
Yeah.
I know, right?
Who was the cornerback that was beat?
Ike Taylor, I believe.
He was on some show one time and was like, man, and it was after he retired, and they were giving him crap like, can you believe Tim Tebow beat you? And he was like, Demaryius Thomas beat me. Tim Tebow did not beat me.
Tim Tebow threw a dime.
He did. It was perfect. Just where it needed to be.
What a crazy time!
there-
Tim Tebow, incredible motivator.
That's something he would have.
Ask Von Miller.
Yeah.
Talk about
Yeah.
a guy who would win the opening press conference.
He just pulls out the script. It's his speech from Florida.
All right. Yeah.
You'll
Starts
never see a
crying.
coach work as hard as I will work.
There was this is a different story, not the one that I was thinking of. Nick Mangold, former center for the Jets.
Yeah.
He said on a podcast that there was a play called the why oh shit screen. And so basically what happens is like the tight end falls down and then like jumps up and it's a screen to him.
Genius.
Tim Tebow refused to call that play because the word shit was in it.
Oh,
He wouldn't say it. He wouldn't say it in the huddle.
this seems
Oh
like
my goodness.
He would only call it the why all right screen.
Why wouldn't he just say oh shoot?
You guys know what it is. He doesn't curse.
Oh shoot.
Shoot.
Well, I mean, but again, now we're getting back
No,
to the
it's
like,
not.
can
Is that too
he
close?
align shit with shoot, or does he just go with all right? I'm not sure that he's taking the shortest path mentally.
Oh.
When I was
What?
when I was
just,
in Little League, we had a play. This was baseball. We had a play. I don't know why this made. Oh shit, made me think of it. It was called Blitzen,
Okay.
and like our coaches are probably like early 20s. Like back then, we thought they were adults, but they were just fucking around.
Yeah.
And if you called it, we only called it one time ever. It was like on a big like two strike count. The third baseman was supposed to act like there was a bee coming after him and just start screaming and like run towards the plate and then like dive out of the way when the pitch got there, and it worked. Strike 3.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Strike 3 looking.
Wow. Is that when like bases are loaded? You really needed it?
Yep.
Wow. That is Genius?
Low-key genius.
I mean, is that something Bill Belichick would pull out of his hat?
Like, if we're cool with the hidden ball trick, we should be cool with blitzing.
And we're cool with it because Todd Helton successfully did it once.
He did. All right. Any other super chats? We are 163 likes. Can we hit 200?
Boom. Oh, we got it. Easy. Thank you
Wow.
all for the push, and thanks, Cody, for the push as well with those likes.
And do we have anything on the website?
We do have some on the
Let's
website.
go.
Should we jump in and get a couple? Let's get to 200 before we're done. First one coming in from our friend Kendall Hinton, Hall of Famer, says, okay, so first, can we just talk about the intentional grounding? Oh, going back to Sunday's game. The ball was 8 yards from Samaje when it hit the ground. That's the facts. Watch the video. And where it bounces doesn't matter. Where in the rules does it say in the vicinity of a receiver is defined as where the ball bounces when it's no longer catchable? That's ridiculous. No offense,
If a ball
RK.
can bounce to someone, it was in their vicinity.
That's not true. I mean, you've seen some of those punts. You see, like the one where it's like, oh, I hit the 35. What terrible punt. Rolls.
If a wide receiver's 20 yards down the field and it lands at 12 and then bounces their feet, no one even considers it to be intentional grounding.
I think they might.
No.
But again, like we're talking about the ball goes 4 yards. It's not, and the guy's like 7 yards past that.
We can't do this.
No, we can't do this again.
He goes on and says, anyways, this coaching search is frustrating. After the season, we've had an owner saying they'll be aggressive. We better get our second option, maybe our third option. Apparently, there's reporting now Harbaugh is the top candidate, but will almost definitely not sign with the Broncos. And D'Amico is the second option, not third. Well, if that's the case and we lose them both, we better frickin' get our third option, Sean Payton or whoever it is. How are we going to be pathetic? Unattractive poverty franchise that can entice top coaching candidates? I'm holding out hope to see what happens next. Fingers crossed. And Ryan, I mean, you said it yesterday. Embarrassing. I said unnerving. I mean, the reason we're saying that is because that's what Broncos Country is feeling right now. They're very worried.
Embarrassing until it's not.
And I'm saying I'm not embarrassed until it is.
All right.
It's opposite. this is how things go. There's
I'm
one
guilty
team that
until
has a
proven
coach.
Innocent. You're innocent until proven guilty.
Exactly. Like we'll see what happens. I don't care who's your top choice, second choice, who's the coach. We'll grade the coach higher when we get there.
Let me just say this. I don't trust any reporter.
No, I haven't
on
trusted.
any of this.
You don't trust a single thing that anybody has said.
Not-
We're just going to wait and see what happens.
So people are like, oh, so-and-so saying this. I'm like, I don't care. So-and-so saying, I don't care.
I don't care.
I like the Michigan message board. That's
Don't care.
just as credible as everyone else.
Maybe more so. Honestly, that might be what I lean into most.
I kind of agree.
Yeah.
And it's not anyone's.
Mike Kliss just tweeted.
It's not anyone's fault.
Ryan's still in the big.
See, I just don't think.
There we go.
It's not the reporter's fault. I don't trust their sources because I
Totally.
don't think anyone is being honest about anything in this situation.
Yeah, it's fair. And Mike Kliss said something yesterday that there's hope that we'll know the coach by the end of the week, but no guarantee. So who
Totally.
knows? This may be going on another week.
Yep. And
We might have a coach, but we might not have a coach.
just for what's worth, what Kliss said, basically, D'Amico hasn't told the Broncos that he's withdrawing. Could be nothing, could be something. Basically, he doesn't know anything either.
Yeah, we knew that yesterday, too.
Maybe he's using the Broncos as
yeah.
a bargaining chip in his contract negotiation with the Texans.
Or he went in there and didn't like the job, or he went in there and the Texans said, actually, we don't think that we're ready to commit to you. Or there's just so many things that could happen, including D'Amico Ryans being the Broncos coach tomorrow.
As much as the Broncos search is a shit show,
Is it,
everyone
though?
else is also this.
That's just, I think, maybe the new way of the NFL, especially when you have a Sean Payton out there.
Fair enough. Broncos 502 says, are we forgetting how the NFL screwed Cincy the most? They were going to beat Buffalo in the regular season and get the 1 seed, but because that game was rightfully canceled, the Bengals are screwed from being the 1 seed and hosting the AFC Championship. The NFL should have made KC and Cincy a neutral site game as well. Anyway, the coaching search might be more painful than the regular season was. I just want to enjoy being a Broncos fan again.
Yeah, and we'll see what the hire brings. If people get excited about it or if people feel embarrassed in the end.
NFL has it out for Cincy.
Yeah.
Sure does.
Dan Burke, hey guys, so if Harbaugh is out according to Schefter, D'Amico Ryans is in Houston, Dan Quinn is back in Dallas, and 4 other candidates have been told they're not in the running, and Mike Kliss says they're not planning on expanding the search, doesn't mean they have to kind of go after Peyton. Peyton or Harbaugh.
Yep.
Scooby-Doo, we're right back where we started.
Exactly.
Assuming you trust what we've heard.
I don't trust anything.
And that's the
not
big
even
thing.
Adam Schefter.
Wow. One thing we do know is they are not expanding the search to talk to people who are currently employed with an NFL team.
As of now.
As of now, yes. As of now.
Maybe tomorrow is when they change their mind.
Nash Bronco says, I think Hank and Numbies watched a different game than someone else on Sunday, or than everyone else on Sunday. Open your eyes to the inconsistent officiating that clearly favored the Chiefs. If it wasn't rigged, the game was decided by the official, and that should never, ever be the case. They should be made to do a press conference and fined just like the players, so there is some sort of accountability.
You can't just not call a 15-yard penalty at the end of the game, though.
I don't think that's the one that people are upset about.
What are they upset about?
All the other ones.
There weren't that many. Like, I think, there might have been missed calls. But again, like, the Bengals had the ball with 2 minutes left with a chance to go win the game.
And then they called a bullshit
I'm pretty sure.
grounding. They got a first down.
Okay, and they did get a first down after that anyway, though. So that one, again, didn't even matter.
But they would have figured out another way to take it away from
But they didn't, though. They didn't, though. Like, there's nothing to point to. There's nothing to point to make that make sense. They had their chance. They were in total control. All Joe Burrow had to do was go, another 30 yards and kick a field goal?
They would have called OPI just like they did on Cortland Sutton.
And if they did it, then we could have that conversation.
It sucks that the Chiefs are in the Super Bowl.
Yes.
But it's not because the refs put it out.
It is not.
In there. Joe Burrow is such an enticing thing for the NFL to have in the Super Bowl.
All I'm saying is America disagrees.
Parts of America.
America that we're surrounded by in Broncos country disagrees, and I understand
It trended
why.
nationally on Twitter.
Yeah, which happens.
So it's
Bronco Americans.
Bronco Americans are saying that.
also informal. Well, never mind.
Okay.
Next one from Steve Atwater, Hall of Fame, says, do you think it's possible that Jim Harbaugh simply doesn't want to put his alma mater in a bad position with National Signing Day before February 1st? It is feasible that Harbaugh and the Broncos have agreed to terms and an announcement is being delayed so Michigan can sign their 2023 class and then Jim can leave for the NFL without putting the college he loves in a bad position? I think we dive into this big time tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tomorrow is National Signing Day.
Yep.
Exactly.
That would be so shady. If I was a Michigan commit right now,
I don't know about that.
I would not sign.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'd say I'm not signing until you sign first.
Pull my scholarship. I dare you.
We got to
Who's out
talk
there?
about this tomorrow.
We do.
Because I think this is juicy.
Yep.
I think it's juicy too. But I'm not letting Jim Harbaugh get away with it easy.
It would be kind of shady. It would not be nearly one of the shadier things that happens in college football.
I can't wait.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
I mean that's par for the course.
That's just what you do.
But it's still messed up.
Tune in tomorrow. And last one coming in from Arvada Luke says, time for an electric coach conspiracy. If we have to request an interview, the candidate becomes public knowledge. So, mystery big head coach is probably not a current coach unless there is a back channeling going on for a trade. Rob is off hunting with his relative and fellow NFL team owner Stan Kroenke negotiating the following. Broncos, as an AFC team, negotiate to get Sean Payton for relatively small draft capital from the Saints, say it's second next year. They then flip Peyton and this year's first rounder to the Rams for a second and none other than Sean McVay,
So
who has
good.
been flirting with retirement and is ready for a change of scenery and a younger roster. Peyton gets LA, McVay instantly is back in contention. Both coaches get the bag, and it is an absolute massive move for both franchises. And the best part, you literally can't prove this wrong now because no one knows anything. It's Schrodinger's coaching search. My question here is, what are the Saints getting at it? Only a second-round pick? They're not
No.
going to trade him for a second-round pick.
Oh, he didn't say. He just said a relatively small draft capital.
And
Yeah.
then says second-round pick next year.
Well, I mean,
They gotta
maybe it's
get
a first.
something.
Give him the first. Give a second or something to the Rams.
No, Rams are trading to the Broncos for Peyton in this
Yeah.
scenario.
Yeah, but the Rams. So the Broncos give like a first for Peyton to the Saints.
Yep.
And the Broncos give like Peyton and a second or something to the Rams for McVay. Not that they have a second, but you find a way.
Man,
It would be so sick.
I think it's most likely at this point.
get either Sean. And it's good, right?
Would that
Sean
be the
for
first Sean for Sean trade in NFL history?
Probably not.
I mean, Sean for Sean, yes.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess because we don't really get player for player.
I mean, how often do you get like one
Yeah.
name for one name? That's happened a couple times, I'm sure. Brandon
Sean
for Brandon.
Phillips for
Was he ever traded?
Keyshawn Johnson.
Wow.
Have you guys heard that the Kelsey brothers are playing each other in the Super Bowl? Have
Oh,
you heard that
no
storyline yet?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. You like it? Fan of it?
Have you seen
Fix.
their mom's jersey? It has both teams.
Wow.
How many times do you think
shocking.
we're gonna see that garbage?
One of them's on the front, though, and one of them's on the back. Does that mean that one is more valuable to her heart? The one that's closer to her heart?
Don't they
Gotta
both
be.
just say Kelsey on the back?
But
I
what?
think one's red on the front and the other's the Eagles green on the back.
Oh, I thought it was side by side. Oh,
No, yeah, it's not a split down the middle. It's
no,
a different.
Oh.
yeah, it's
Turns
like
out I
split
haven't
in
seen it.
front and back.
wow. I just always
Yeah.
scroll by because I hate that.
I've only seen it like 500 times, like you said, so
You know-
it was hard to miss.
Honestly, I hate every team that isn't the Broncos. Like I just hate them
take,
all.
good take.
Like there's so many people who are just like, yeah, like I
That's
like
a
the
problem though
I-
because you're hating two equally, so then you
Yeah.
don't hate the Chiefs enough.
No, that's fair. But again, like I do hate them more. It's just that like I hate the Bengals also. It's like everybody else is like, oh,
What's
the Bengals, they're
hateable
fun.
about the Bengals?
They aren't the Broncos. They're in the AFC.
Okay,
You
fair.
hate them for forever. It's
What's
the same
hateable
thing.
about the Eagles?
I mean, that one's a lot easier. But again, like they aren't the Broncos. It's just another team that
What's
isn't the
hateable?
Yeah,
Broncos.
what's easier about it?
I'm the fan base. Like
Okay.
that's very hateable. Just like the whole
Hates
thing about
passion.
them
Yeah,
and
just looking right at Ryan.
the
when
rest
he
of
says
it. I mean, you know it's the same thing you like about them. The more people hate it, I think, than like it. But again, like that's just in every
yeah, I
sport.
think
Or it's
that's
like
true.
NBA. It's like Charlotte Hornets. Hate them. They don't matter, but hate them.
Yeah, there's
You
nothing.
have
about the
your teams you
Charlotte
like. I don't
Hornets.
jump on bandwagons.
It feels better to hate more specifically, in my opinion.
No, I hate them more.
As Nathaniel
There's room for
Hackett
all the
said,
hate.
there's not enough energy in this world for hate.
Yeah, I'm not sure I trust that guy.
Such a bad take. Use sports as a way to get your hate out
Yeah.
because it doesn't hurt
Exactly.
anyone as long as you're somewhat sane.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. Well, that's a good message to
So
end the
hate-
show.
Yeah,
Is the way?
hate everybody.
What?
Hate
When
sports teams.
When it
Everybody.
comes to sports, yeah.
You
yeah,
like the
yeah.
Broncos, you hate everybody else.
But according to Ryan, hate some teams more than others.
Got a thumbs
yeah.
down for the hate talk.
You do have to.
Wow, but we
Wow.
almost hit 200. Thank you all. I bet we can get 2 more likes and then
Oh.
you can take thumbs up
Take-
away?
Can't take that back.
Wow.
No take
How do you-
backs.
Wow.
Wow.
And really started with Hank. Started saying a lot of
You hate everybody.
happened yesterday,
There's no like,
remember?
oh, that's a good
Happened
story.
yesterday,
No,
too.
F them.
Fair enough.
I'll take credit for the other dislikes as well.
All right.
one away on my computer. But
We
Oh,
can't
there we go.
end the show until we get 200 likes.
We
Say something everybody agrees with.
All right. We're ending here.
Rainbows are cool.
Broncos have a head coach by.
Monday.
We'll be in Phoenix.
Wednesday.
Tomorrow? Or next
Today's
Wednesday?
wait. Today's Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Thursday. I thought
Thursday.
today was Monday.
we're at 201.
I'm going to say
Hey.
there's a
Hey.
press conference on Friday morning.
There we go. That's being hopeful
I'd say.
for our
Oh, I
Phoenix
would
schedule.
too. Friday morning also.
All right.
Let's go, baby.
Higher one Thursday.
Sounds good. Appreciate you guys for all the thumbs up. You guys are the best. We will catch you tomorrow on the DNVR Broncos podcast.
Bye.